In a small, isolated, and quiet town, there lived a teacher named Layla. She was a woman in her 30s, beautiful in her features, but behind her smile she concealed a deep sadness. Her husband had left 2 years ago and never returned, leaving behind a heart that slept on waiting and woke up to loneliness. Every night she would dream of him returning, knocking on the door, smiling, but she would always wake up to emptiness. No one there except for the sound of the wind seeping through the window. As time passed, Layla became a prisoner of silence, searching for anything to fill her deadly emptiness. She decided to start giving private lessons to her students at home, hoping to occupy her time and forget her loneliness. The next day, she stood in the classroom and said in a gentle voice, "Who wants to come to my house for private lessons? It'll be free for everyone." Silence fell, and the students exchanged glances as if they were hiding something. Moments later, 6 students raised their hands, while the 3 most mischievous students in the class remained silent, smiling wickedly. She didn't care much, but she did notice those mysterious looks that never left their faces. The lessons began at her home. She treated the students like her own children, cooking for them and helping them with their homework until those sessions became a part of her life. But one night, when class was over, her car suddenly broke down, or so she told them. She told the students she'd call their parents to tell them the car wouldn't start and that they had to stay with her until morning. The parents agreed, and the children slept in the guest room. Layla sat next to them, staring into their small faces and whispering to herself in a low voice, "No, these people don't understand what I want." The next day, she drove the students home, but she began to notice something else. Someone was watching her from afar, the 3 troublemakers who hadn't participated before. She met their gazes every day at school until she decided to approach them herself. "Why don't you come to my house?" "I'll give you private lessons, too," she said, smiling mysteriously. One of them laughed and said sarcastically, "Lessons without books?" She replied calmly, looking directly into his eyes, "Exactly as you like." That night she returned home and began preparing the place. She closed the curtains, lit a small candle, and carefully arranged the room as if she were expecting important guests. She sat there looking at the clock from time to time until she heard a soft knock on the door. She opened the door and found the 3 students standing before her, smiling. They entered slowly, and silence reigned. Sitting on the bed, she asked them, "What lessons do you want tonight?" But one of them muttered fearfully, "Where are the books?" She smiled quietly, and before she could answer, there was another knock on the door, louder this time. Everyone froze. Layla looked toward the door with strange fear. She approached and opened it slowly to be surprised by a face she hadn't seen in 2 years. Her husband. He stood before her, stunned, and said in an angry voice, "Who are these?" She was confused as she answered, "Students. I give them private lessons." He entered with heavy steps, looked around, then at the boys, and said firmly, "Leave now." The boys quickly left, but one of them turned before leaving and said with a sly smile, "You forgot to give us the money, teacher." She silently held out her hand with the money as they left, laughing and sharing the money outside. Her husband quietly closed the door, looked at her, and said with strange coldness, "Strange. The house is cold, even though you weren't alone." Layla fell silent, sitting on the bed, staring at the floor, a smile never leaving her lips. That night, she didn't sleep, didn't speak, just stared at the closed door in front of her. In her eyes was a mixture of relief and madness, as if she had finally found someone to fill her emptiness. If only for one night. As the candle went out, silence fell over the house once more. A silence that felt like the end, but wasn't. Some lessons are not written on paper.